adding text to your video. So we're going to figure out where we want the text to be. So for argument's sake, we want it to be here. Now you're going to go up to your effects library, and over here you see the toolbox. In case it's closed, you can open your toolbox, and in your toolbox you see your video transitions, audio, and then down here you see titles. Over here you see the different types of titles. So let's throw on a scrolling title. So you grab it and you drag it down, and you're going to put it on the layer above where you want it to show up. If you put it on that same layer, you're cutting your video. So we're going to undo it. It's on the layer above where we want it to show up. Now the next thing we want to do is we want to go over here and we want to turn on the inspector. So the inspector is our list of controls for whatever clip we're working on. So we're working on the title. So here we go. In this box you can change it. Okay, so now it's adding titles. So why hasn't anything showed up on screen? Because it's a scrolling title. You have to hit play, and then you'll see your title show up. So now I paused it while it's on screen so I can get a better idea of what I'm doing. I'm going to highlight my titles and I'm going to start changing things. So down here in the formatting section, you can change your font. Okay, so we change the font. You can change how you want it to look. So let's go bold. The size and the alignment. If you want it to the left, if you want it centered, you want it to the right, whatever. So let's keep it centered. Now here, color, it's pretty self-explanatory. You click on it. You're going to choose whatever color you want and make sure you click OK, or else it will not let you move on. Now your drop shadow is always on. It's just that you have to change your offset controls. So you see I'm changing the x-axis so I can see, and here I'm changing the y-axis. Your blur, in case you don't want the titles to be as sharp, so you can make them super sharp or you can make them a little fuzzy, and the opacity is how transparent it is. Background, if you want a background shape for the text to sit on, again, it's always on. So first you would come down here to height, and there you see as I'm changing the height, there's the background shape, and I'm changing the width of it. I can make it thinner. You can change the color of the outline or the color of the interior. I'm not going to bother with it. I hit reset to turn everything back to the way it was so you don't see it. So that's how you would do scrolling text. Now we are going to get rid of the scrolling text and we are going to add a regular piece of text, because you're going to get a lot more controls that you need to be aware of. So here we go. Here's that. And we are going to do that. Okay, so now, again, you can change the font. You can change what the font looks like. Here you can change the color, the size. Now, tracking is this. It's the space between the letters next to each other. Line spacing. It's how much space is between the lines. Think double space, space and a half, what have you. Let's skip all of this. You can play with it if you want. Let's go down to alignment. Same thing, left, center, right, your justification. And here you have position controls here, where you're controlling the x-axis and the y-axis. So if you were not paying attention to graphing in math, math is everywhere. Your zoom, you're zooming on the x-axis. Well, you're zooming on the y-axis too. I'm not really sure. I guess you can unlock it. There you go. You're zooming on the y-axis. You can do that and then lock it back. Whatever. Blah, blah, blah. Rotation. Your rotation is simply rotating the letters. If you want it at an angle or you want it straight. Now you have drop shadow. Again, drop shadow always on. You just have to change your offset. Your x-axis, your y-axis. You can change the color, the blur, yada yada. We already went over that. Stroke. Stroke is another word for outline. Again, it's always on. It's just set to 0. So you can increase your stroke. It goes up to 16. You can increase your stroke. You can change the color. Whatever you feel like doing. Okay, there we go. And same thing, here's your background. Again, last time, it's always on. You just have to change the controls to make it different. Now, if you do something and you're not sure how it looks, that's what these red buttons are for. You can turn it off, turn it on, turn it off, turn it on. Decide if you like it or not. So that's the quick tutorial on adding titles.